YouTube. We are green on Twitch. And there we go. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an early stream. I'm traveling for the holidays, so tonight is our doubleheader for week 14 of season 10 of League 1. So without much further ado, we'll get into the breakdown pregame for your Apple Cup. Number 1, Washington State, at number 22, Washington. As you can see right now, we're looking at an injury report. Their probably starting left tackle is out, and their probably backup outside linebacker is out. But now I'm going to turn over the headset to my colleague, Coach Spector, and he's going to take a look at the depth chart for Washington University.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Spector here, coach of the Washington State Cougars, facing off against UW, Washington University of Washington Huskies. They've got a nasty quarterback, 11 rounds and 94, with some speed so far this year. 20 and 9 touchdowns and interceptions, 137 rating, with a fair amount of running. It's got 40 yards a game on the ground, so he will take off and can do damage. We've got a halfback. What kind of action does he get? Over 100 yards a game. Not too much passing, but 100 yards a game is, that means he's going to get quite a few handoffs. Not too much of a fullback. One great wide receiver, 75 yards a game. He's the focal point. And 40 yards for the backup. Not too many yards per game for the other receivers. So Palmer will be my third down look. If I remember correctly, yep, Washington utilizes the tight end quite a bit, 70 yards a game. The tight end, he will be a definite focal point for our pass defense as well. Across the line there, we know Peterson is out for the game. That'll see an inferior offensive lineman taking over for him, along with got a true freshman left guard, a true freshman right guard. So some youth and vulnerability there on Washington's offensive line. Defensively, Jacob Ball looks pretty darn good at a 92, with 3.5 sacks. Maynard's got 2.5. Good defensive ends, very, very solid. Good front four. Whether they use a 3-man front or a 4-man front, they will have some quality there on the front four. Linebacking core, Hartman is actually a starter. It'll be a free safety or a defensive end playing right outside linebacker. So that might be better or worse. Obviously Rogers will be much better in coverage. We'll have to look for 49 playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, possibly going up against a tight end or a back out of the backfield. Might make those throws a little bit more difficult. In the secondary, some youth. Garcia was one of the top players recruited last year. He ended up signing with Washington. A fantastic true freshman corner there.
We clearly needed him.
And seniors otherwise. As we know, Rogers will be playing outside linebacker very likely. But Alexander still remains the starter, and Trenton Riley in at strong safety. Although, if they're in a 3-3-5, it'll be interesting to see whether it's Jordan at the second strong safety, or Wiggins at right outside linebacker. Number 97 playing linebacker. I'll need to watch for that as well. Figure out on most plays who their right outside linebacker is and adjust accordingly. Obviously, one is extremely good in coverage, one is extremely good against the run. A freshman 84 kicker. I'm sure he's excellent. Yeah, perfectly adequate. So Washington, a team of skill position players, 100 yards a game running back, and a very active tight end, but lacking a little bit in the offensive line. We'll see if we can get some penetration. We're going to come hard and heavy, fast and furious, as you as you're well aware. I'm going to hand it back over to my compatriot, Coach Ninja. He'll handle the play-by-play and commentary. And we hope you enjoy this edition, this year's Apple Cup. Last year, we played them to a 22-7 game. They held us to 5 field goals. So hopefully we'll be able to get into the end zone more often this time and keep up with the defense we've been playing the last few weeks. So I'm going to hand it back over to Coach Ninja, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
It's a pretty mediocre overall for Washington. Usually they're a number of points higher than that. They're having a down year overall rating-wise, I would say, at 86. Oh, there you go. As we can see here, Washington State number 1 in points, defensive points against, defensive yards against, and rush defense at 35 rushing yards against. That's in large part due to the fact that teams have to keep up with that explosive 291-yard, 92-yard per game passing. But if you look at Washington University on the right, that's a fantastic points for as well as rushing offense at 191 yards rushing offense a game. It's also very, very good. And you can see two defensive linemen there, the left end ball and the D tackle Bates. That's going to be a very impressive front four as well as an impressive quarterback for Washington. Saw those two starters.
Hi everybody. Reese Davis with you, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show, presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. The Huskies and the Cougars, a deep-seated rivalry in the state of Washington. Today, Washington and Washington State square off in the battle for the Apple Cup. Thanks for checking out the pregame show. NCAA college football action coming up next. Brad and Kirk on the call. David and I will see you at halftime. See how this game plays out as they get ready for the opening kickoff. He kicks it off, and he got all of that one.
Washington State kicks it square in the middle of the letters, and it is down for a touchback by Washington. Starts as Apple Cup ball.
Others will be putting the helmet on for the final time.
We can see the Huskies coming out here with a single back, 3 wide receivers, and 1 tight end. And that tight end, he is spread out in the slot rather than up on the line with the offensive linemen. And already that number 1 ranked Washington State is coming in with, causing Washington to be a little bit jumpy.
From their own 20-yard line. First down.
The 10-yard reception there to the tight end, but early into the second and 5. Washington State sniffs out the screen pass there and makes it 3rd and long.
Wide open. You spend all those hours during the week to be able to get prepped and ready to go. You got an open man like this.
I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime.
London kicks at the 25, gets to about the 34-yard line.
And apparently this whole time I had the microphone plugged into the headphone jack, and anybody who heard me probably only heard it through the desktop mic. So apologies for that technical snafu, as you've just watched Washington go 3 and out in 1 minute for the first possession of the Apple Cup.
I really believe this week they've done a great job of doing that. Now they just have to go out and execute the plan and go out and win this game.
Voorhees only gets 2 yards because the defenders are there at the end of the route, but there we do see the traditional middle slant by Washington State to begin the game with a quick, easy reception for Vincent Vega, get him a little warmed up with a nice, easy throw and catch. But of course, Washington State plays Washington every year, and they're well aware of the popularity of the drag route.
2nd and 8 coming up here. Ball on the 37-yard line. On the ground, up the middle. Makes it out to
Washington
the
State
34-yard line.
runs out of the single back spread set. Pauly Shore only able to get 3 yards when he takes the handoff and gets stumbled trying to get around one of the offensive linemen who couldn't press his run blocking up as far forward as he would have liked.
From their own 40.
Yeah, Doc, that was the wrong mic.
And they make the stop, the 42-yard line. They couldn't
The underthrow there from Vincent Vega causes the 4th and short.
Give the defense credit. They held him short.
The defense looks like they're going to send in the cavalry on this one. He hits a low one there.
Punting near midfield, Washington State elects to punt it at a sharp angle and low, only moving the ball about 30 yards to the opponent's 30.
Every drive's important in a tie game. I look for both sides to come out with some urgency. And that's It's his receiver who's wide open.
We saw wide trips to the right there, but there's a flag.
Quarterback a little late there.
Jack London called on the roughing the passer penalty.
A step too late and he knows it. Learn not to make those kinds of mistakes.
The Huskies keep into this single back, single tight end, 3 wide receiver set. This time you see the wide trips on the left side. But the toss gets tackled for loss. And it's a big loss of 4, making it 2nd and 14 thanks to Danny Glover. Ooh, Michigan State lost another game to Maryland. That's not great for me. They lose rating.
2nd down and 14. Ball on the 40-yard line.
Washington spreading it out this time. The tight end is on the end of the line, but everybody else is spread out. Jack London, he's not there in time, but he does rush the throw, and it allows the linebacker to get a hand in and deflect the pass 3rd and a mile. Three down linemen as the on 3rd and long, as then the ball bounces off of Jack Kerouac's hands.
They'll line it up for a very long field goal attempt. Washington is looking to go up by 3. He gets it up. And this is no good. He didn't have the leg for it. This one's going to be well short, and they're going to have a chance to return it.
Jack London with the crafty moves, fading inside towards the scrum and cutting back towards the sideline, returns that field goal attempt, that long field goal attempt, into a touchdown.
Washington State.
A very aggressive gamble there from Washington to try and get the field goal
Nice kick, plenty of distance.
at that distance, and it is punished by Washington State, who puts the punt returner Jack London back there. Jack London plays in all 3 phases of this game. He plays on special teams as a returner. He plays on defense primarily, where he is a hybrid corner outside linebacker and typically is brought in as a blitzer, as this time Washington State comes out onto the field with a fullback and a halfback, only 2 wide receivers to complement the tight end.
Now he tries to buy some time. He's to the
Perry, unable to make the tackle, flushes Logan Brown from the pocket, and he runs for 18 yards in the first down. You'll also see Jack London in as a receiver in a number of different plays on offense for Washington State,
from their own 43-yard
as Washington, behind by 7, sees what they can get going on offense. Two broken tackles means Sean Evans, of Hot Ones fame, is able to get 5 yards, but no more. Evans only able to get 1 yard, bringing only a little bit of heat so far. Makes it 3rd and short, however. gives Washington all of the options on third down. However, Washington is 0 for 2 on third down so far this game. Evans in the backfield, 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Wide receiver comes in motion to the left. Jack London almost hits Brown's shins, but Brown gets the ball off and they get first down. That's their first third down conversion of the game. It's to Blair Palmer, far and away the best wide receiver on Washington's team.
From the 39-yard line. First down. He's tackled. The 36
The defense continuing to key on Evans. He's a YouTube celebrity, and they know about him. So they're keeping their eyes on him all the time, giving up some pass yardage, but keeping Evans to short yardage on the ground. If anything, what Washington State wants to do is make Washington pass the ball, because that receiving core after Palmer and the tight end gets pretty weak. As we see there, is Tim Joseph does an unnecessary hurdle in midfield where there are no hurdles and gets tackled for loss. It is 3rd and 8. Coach Stradamus doing its best Captain Obvious impression as the tight end motions from left to right. I'm sorry. Logan Brown passes to the wide receiver coming in on the smart route, but bounces it off his hands. As we know, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th receivers of Washington not nearly as good as Palmer. So they're going to attempt another long field goal.
kicker for a long field goal. The kick is away. It's long enough, and it's wide right. No good. So they come up empty-handed there.
Kickers have to have a short memory. Just go out and make the next one. Brad, let's see if this offense can make
Washington State
that they established on that.
hasn't been on the field on offense in a while because of that field goal returned by Jack London. Vincent Vega keeps the ball, runs for 6 yards.
Brad, this guy had a huge year last year.
Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam.
Look for him to have a huge year.
2nd and 4, a great start.
They're about 4 yards away here on 2nd down. Washington State up 7 points. He's got it with room to run. They'll bring him down.
Voorhees catches the ball, and instead of going upfield, he realizes that his wide receiver to the outside of him is about to hit his blocker, and runs laterally for a couple of more yards to use the block to get an extra couple yards downfield.
He's in there to match up against the 5-wide set. Scrambling around.
This quarterback is tough as
Vincent Vega scrambles out of the pocket and sets his feet to get the long ball off, but cannot get the ball off before he is tackled. But the ball goes incomplete. Or I should say, he barely gets the ball off, and therefore the ball goes incomplete.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 42. There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun. He goes up.
Ryan Leaf there only gets 3 yards, makes it 3rd and 7. As the final seconds tick down on the first quarter.
low-scoring game in that first 15 minutes. Let's see if things open up in the second quarter. Washington State leads 7-0. And we welcome you back to the action here. Just about set to start the second quarter.
Pauly Shore running the angle route gets 6 yards, but that's not enough for the first down. Washington State is 4th and 1.
Fourth down. They'll call on the field goal unit. Washington State can make this a 2-possession game with this field goal. The kick is up, and it's good. Let's get the latest now from Reese Davis.
The Hawkeyes enter today's game ranked 9th in the country and with an opportunity to move even higher. And for Iowa, they're shooting for their 10th win in a row. Deadline at the moment tied at 14.
Upset special happens every year. Maybe it's one of those weekends. The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off. And he got all of this one. Great kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. You think about the challenges these two teams are facing. On one side, you've got to find a way to keep building on your lead, and on the other side, you've got to find a way to get back in it.
Palmer on the reception only gets 4 yards, 2nd and 6. As you saw, the entire defensive scheme of Washington State shift left there. And left again as Washington State continues to hedge against that outside run on the left. However, now it is 3rd and 6. The screen pass to Sean Evans gets snuffed out, and team tackling takes him down for 2 yards. So far, the Huskies are 1 for 4 on 3rd down. This time, way out of field goal range. They elect to punt.
He punts it away, and it's a great kick. London takes it for 21. He gets out to
London gets the punt and gets 12 yards, but is shoestringed. Does not get outside the edge.
It was a pretty one-sided first quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised if things changed in a big way before halftime. Now he's scrambling. He's got to throw it in a hurry. Here's a
Vincent Vega throws on the run to Voorhees, who slips 1 tackle, get an extra couple yards, but the bulk of it there was the extension of the play by Vincent Vega, getting outside of the pocket, waiting until Voorhees bounced off the right sideline and came left. And there's always a magnificent pass on the run from Vincent Vega. There are other quarterbacks that are faster, other quarterbacks that are more agile, but I don't know if I've ever seen anybody who throws better on the run than Vincent Vega. Washington clearly not expecting the shotgun run up the gut from Pauly Shore on first down. Gets an easy 12 yards. And Washington State, up 10 points, is in the red zone with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the second quarter. Vincent Vega slides there after audibling into the I formation from a shotgun spread after looking at the defense's 3-3-5 formation, deciding he wanted to call something else.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on second down.
Coming out in a true I this time, Pauly Shore makes it inches to the goal line after magnificent lead blocking there from the fullback, Eric Estrada.
5 wide.
And the pass, the drag route there to Jason Voorhees in the middle slant is disrupted when the defender comes over his back and gets an arm in. Second and goal from the 1 yard line.
Second down. In the shotgun and 5 wide outs. He scrambled.
It's a bad play overall by the offense. The quarterback's doing everything he can to be able to make the play work and try to execute. The problem is the offensive line did not do a good job protecting him. They're very fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Commentator definitely on the ball there. The number of defenders came right through Washington State's offensive line, and we can see why. They're getting a little bit tired after this bang-bang drive.
The defense backed up into their own end zone. It's 3rd and goal from the 1.
And the handoff to the fullback, Eric Estrada, gets the 1 yard they need to go up 16-0.
That is great tough football.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Everyone's all lined up and ready for the kickoff. He really got a hold of that kick. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
Washington here with 3 minutes and 33 seconds. They got half of a devil here in order to score. Not a great amount of time as far as Washington State's concerned. Washington doesn't have to be too quick, but they also don't have to be too worried about draining the clock to make sure not to give Washington State another possession, as we see Sean Evans get 4 yards there on the ground.
Second and 6 coming up here. Ball on the 29.
Brown under center that time with Evans directly behind him, gets flipped on his head by Kerouac, by one defender as he gets the ball off, and the ball is passed and then broken up by Kerouac to get to 3rd and long. Another third down conversion They're only 1 for 5 so far.
Makes the catch and look out.
The defense might need to make some changes to their coverage scheme because that was just too easy.
From their own 38-yard line. It's first down. He's at midfield. And they finally bring him down at the 36. And
Sean Evans breaks the drag outside and breaks 2 tackles to get 27 yards. A lot of heat on that one for Evans. But it's followed up by a sack by Washington State.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
sack in the second down and long situation. Gets it out to his receiver.
2nd and 16. Joseph almost breaks through, but is shoestringed to go down. That's a touchdown saving tackle.
And a well-placed ball. Most times you don't need much more than that.
Washington in the red zone for the first time this game. 1st and 10 on the 18.
From the 18-yard line. First down.
It takes 3 defenders to tackle Evans, but he only gets 4 yards after the first 2 slow him down enough for the 3rd and 4th to come in and bring him to the ground. Great team effort.
This is the 8th play of this drive. And they make the stop at the 11-yard
More team tackling there to stop Evans 3 yards short of first down. As we see Washington bring the fullback back and go to only 2 wide receivers,
yards to pick up the first down.
who are both spread out wide on the right.
Quick pass intercepted.
And a fantastic pick by the linebacker coming across, Mekhi Pfeiffer.
Here comes up with a huge interception. They've already got the lead.
And now with 1:29 in, when the play starts,
He's taken down.
we see John McClain in for Washington State as Pauly Shore takes the handoff and gets 1 yard.
We've got a 2nd and 9 here. Ball on the 11-yard line. He's on the run. He's to the 40. Tackle made at about the 47-yard line. Flags are down, and this one might be on the offense.
The holding penalty, devastating, a magnificent play there by Washington State, making it 2nd and 14 on their own 6.
2nd and 14. Ball on the 6-yard line.
That is a massive penalty.
Empty backfield,
down distance in 30 seconds. And he gets the ball away, saving
You know, when you feel pressure like that, the worst thing you want to
the
do
safety.
is just to throw the ball into coverage. He got away with one right there. He's very fortunate. Next time, he should just throw it away out of bounds.
And with 48 seconds left in the half, in the surprise move, punt team seems to be on the field.
The play clock's at 0. They took too much time.
And offense gets a delay of game penalty there.
So the delay of game will move them back a few, and I'm pretty sure the coach isn't happy with his quarterback right now.
And now we see why, as Kendrick Lamar is subbed in for Petey Pablo.
And this is strange. The punter's on the field right now, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Gets it away. It's low.
That punt gives Washington possession, but in their own territory. An excellent punt there from Washington State, backed up against their own end zone after that brutal penalty.
Sometimes it's actually better than the game itself. So they prepared themselves very well to have this kind of game.
Things are on the verge of getting out of hand before we even hit the half. These next few drives are going to go a long way in determining what kind of game this will end up being.
Danny Glover there stops Logan Brown's scramble for only 2 yards. Forces the Huskies to use a timeout.
It's 2nd and 8. Ball on the 44-yard line.
Jimmy Buffett comes the long way around, gets Logan Brown for a massive 11-yard sack from behind.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Going long. Picked off by the senior.
And Jack London there with the pick after Logan Brown throws into tight double coverage.
Maintain the momentum here in the first half.
Pass to Ryan Leaf over the middle. 12 seconds and a moving clock for Washington State. Oh, I'm sorry, not a moving clock. They called a timeout.
They can make the proper adjustments and then put those wide receivers in one-on-one opportunities against the defense. And when you blitz, you're really leaving yourself.
But Vincent Vega is sacked for a 12-yard loss.
Washington State will use their final timeout. They find themselves in a hole here after that sack. It's 2nd and long. And they're going to put 6 DBs on the field to counter that 5-receiver look.
And the pass is disrupted. There's 4 seconds left, 3rd and 22.
Give himself a chance. The only problem is, at some point, you've got to have a feel. Almost that sixth sense on when to get out of there and avoid the pressure, or just to throw the ball before you get hit.
to go long and does. And he's got it. Going the other way now.
Morris gets the pick, but he's pushed out of bounds.
And that'll do it for the first half.
After the half, Washington State leads 17-0.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Bruce Davis, David Pollack here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. Take a look at the first half scoreboard and you start rubbing your eyes, wonder if you need to change your contacts or something.
See, what happened was...
And I don't know how to explain it. The deficit is huge, but you know what? I don't have any doubt in my mind from watching sort of the way the game unfolded that it was an aberration, a fluke, and this thing's going to turn in the
Oh, so
second
you're
half.
calling it. This is going to turn.
Well, it's your job to call it, but if it were my job, yes, I would be calling it.
No, I feel the same way. I think that they came out and they obviously were overconfident and they didn't deliver the goods early. But I tell you what, it feels like they are still in this.
All right, Reese, David, thanks, guys. Just about set to start the third quarter. Sends it sailing downfield. He's to the 10.
A surprisingly high time of possession there for the Huskies, despite their goose egg on the scoreboard. That is in part because of the speed with which Washington State is repeatedly scoring. Field goal return obliviating an entire possession as well for Washington State.
Both squads are digging in now. Let's see what happens on this next drive. They'll bring him down around
As Pauly Shore gets only 2 yards out of the I formation run.
Second and 8. Ball on the 31-yard line. Now he's scrambling. He's to the 40.
Vincent Vega gets the first down and slides gently to a stop at the foot of the Washington Husky second baseman.
It's first and 10. Ball on the 48. Here he goes. He's at the 30. Brought down. And about the 25.
Vincent Vega gets 23 yards and then makes sure to keep the ball on the way to the ground when he's caught up to by the Washington defender. And he is now quite winded. Looks like we're going to see John McClain.
From the 25-yard line. First down. And he's tackled around the 26-yard line.
Defense comes strong around the outside of the blockers. Takes out Pauly Shore for a loss of 1 yard.
We've got a second and 11. Ball on the 26-yard line. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. He's scrambling. Pressure coming. Inside the 10, and he's taken down around the 6-yard line.
Vincent Vega scrambles out of the pocket and runs up the sideline for a great first down there.
Now they're firing on all cylinders.
Despite some open receivers, he sees that he can get further if he takes it himself. But he's in need of another catnap.
First down, and they've got their eyes on to about the 5-yard line. They're at the 5. It's second down. On play action, under heavy pressure. He scrambles.
Vincent Vega is sacked for a 7-yard loss. It is now 3rd and long to the goal line.
Here they decided to blitz the senior from the corner spot, and there was just nobody available to pick him up.
Washington's defense becoming much stouter here in this second half.
And this is the 8th play of the drive. Play fake, looking to run. Decides to take it himself, and he's got it.
Vincent Vega on play action there keeps the ball and scrambles and dives for the touchdown.
Execution by the entire offensive unit, especially the blocking up front.
And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Washington State's continuing to play extremely tough defense. This has been impressive.
It's just been impressive to watch them play with such an attitude, almost a chip on their shoulder with the energy that they're playing with. I think it's going to require that kind of effort to be able to win this game.
There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting drives if they want to get back in the game. Complete tackle at about the 35.
Palmer comes back for it and catches the 10-yard reception on the curl route there.
Same page as his quarterback, as they both saw the double outside linebacker blitz coming.
From their own 30.
Down 24, we're definitely going to see a pass-heavy offense from Washington, despite the ability of Sean Evans.
Picked off.
I'm not sure the quarterback saw him.
Ginsburg deflects but is not able to pick the pass. It is now 2nd and 10.
He's wrapped up for the sack. I think the offensive line.
London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath.
First sack of the day for Jack London makes it 3rd and 18. He's been rushing the quarterback, but the sacks have gone to other players.
Third and very long.
As we now see tight end on the left, 3 wide receivers to the right.
Caught, open field. He's to the 40.
Oh, and Sam Neal
45-yard line.
He showed some excellent moves out
plays an excellent grumpy old man. He's able to dive forward
there. Big gain, and this offense
after the tackle to get the first down there.
From their own 45-yard line. First down. Washington State's going to take their first.
Not
down
liking
out
what
of
they
that.
see, Washington State elects to take a timeout. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the third.
completed it. For the 20, the 10. Touchdown. Big play.
Washington able to get the pass off. Brown, able for Washington, able to get the pass off just as he's hit. And the wide receiver hits a seam in the defense perfectly. After what might have been a pick.
Well, they're going to try for the 2-point
An offensive, pick and roll downfield, which may or may not be illegal in the college game. I don't know. But Washington State now angry because Washington has 16 points.
He just drills this one. He's to the 10.
Jack London only able to get to the 18-yard line on the return.
Pretty good looking touchdown drive the last time these guys were out there. And they've got all their DBs in there to match up against the 5-wide set. He's going to try and scramble. He's going to air it long. Great catch, and he's out of bounds.
Hannibal Lecter with the 45-yard reception there on the sideline. Catches it and stays in bounds and then goes out of bounds.
There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun.
Voorhees on the reception that time. His 4th reception of the game. He's got a 19.5-yard average for 78 yards total as Washington State, in a blood rage, is screaming downfield. Voorhees only able to get 2 yards this time.
Well, here I think the quarterback needs to be a little bit more patient in the pocket. That way he can allow his receivers to get down.
As we continue to see a hurry up from Washington State. Ryan Leaf on the out route of the middle slant is able to come to a stop just ahead of the boundary and lean forward to get 2 more yards.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. And the end zone intercepted.
But Vincent Vega throws into tight coverage and it's picked off in the end zone. But the defender's momentum carries him out of the end zone. They're going to be on the 3-yard line, backed right up against it.
Comes up with an interception like that. Boy, oh boy, you're grabbing your helmet, sprinting on that field, you're ready to go.
First down. Tough spot here, deep in their own territory. Tackle made.
Sean Evans only able to get 2 yards. Washington hasn't escaped the shadow of their end zone yet. They're still on the 5-yard line. Hands it off to Trey Jackson, who gets 3 yards before he stopped. It is 3rd and 6.
It's 3rd down and 6 to go.
Sean Evans receives the screen but only gets 3 yards. It is now 4th and 3.
The Cougars call a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half.
Washington State calling timeout there, I believe, to make sure that Washington punts.
To return. He puts it away, and it's a great kick. London fields it at the 44, tries to get around the corner. He makes it out.
Isn't able to
6-yard line.
escape the gunner.
Don't leave yet, folks. We still got
It's 28-4 heading into the 4th quarter.
point
rare fourth down attempt.
Now he tries to buy some time. Quarterback's going to run it, and he's got room to work.
Vincent Vega getting the first down and sliding
Pick up the first.
Big play there,
on
Brett.
4th and
You'll
6.
see the ball carrier panic, but not this guy. This is a good job of showing patience and letting the run develop.
Defense goes with the extra defensive backs as the offense comes up 5 wide. Now he's scrambling.
It's a bad play overall by the offense. The quarterback's doing everything he can to be able to make the play work and try to execute. The problem is the offensive line.
Watch him. Starting right here. Hello, pass interference. Hello, pass interference.
And as demonstrated by the instant replay, massive pass interference getting in the way there
And causing an injury
And-
to Vincent Vega.
and causing the injury to Vincent Vega. We'll see what
Second down, 10
what that means in a minute.
Ball on the 27. They spread the field in the gun with 5 wide receivers.
As John McClain this time is the one scrambling out of the pocket
The pressure. Inside the 10.
and gets stopped
A huge
at the 7-yard
play.
line. As Vincent Vega is thankfully only out for 2 quarters. You're going to see John McClain for the duration of this game, the remaining 6 minutes.
Washington State with a 1st and goal and a big opportunity here to really open this game up. The offense looking here to exercise any red zone demons they might have after throwing an interception on their last trip. And down he goes at the 1-yard
Eric
line.
Estrada does a fantastic job breaking the tackle to get 7 yards
Delivered a nice
and
throw.
stopping just short.
This is the 8th play of this drive. He scrambled.
And
There's that quickly in.
John McClain is unable to get the pass off on the run. It's 3rd and goal from the 1.
This is where the defense makes a name for themselves. It's 3rd down and goal from the 1.
And Alan Rickman runs it in for the touchdown.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
He sends this one deep. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Washington State's defense has been a force to be reckoned with, especially in this game.
A fantastic defensive showing this far from Washington State. 2 fluky plays got Washington 8 points.
Ready to return to action.
As now we see Jack London come in for a sack.
Play today.
Well, they said before the game that they wanted to put a lot of
London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath. London calling.
So the sack makes this a 2nd and long.
And the ball bounces off of the hands. Again, another example of why having a well-rounded receiving core is important. Palmer, very good. The tight end, Neal, pride of New Zealand, very good. But the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th receivers for Washington, they really don't have the hands for it. At least not under the amount of pressure that Washington State is bringing.
Here they come. He's going to try.
As Washington State so thoroughly reads and blows up the screen that Logan Brown doesn't even attempt the screen pass, looks for someone else downfield, and eventually just throws it into the dirt.
Townsend awaits the snap. He really got a hold of that one. And he's
The blocking there on the punt return, leaving something to be desired, and Jack London only gets 3 yards on the return. Washington State begins with their worst field position in quite a while on their own 37.
They ran the ball very well on their last drive, and it resulted in 6. Empty backfield, quarterback in the gun, 5 wide receivers. He lets it fly.
And a pirouetting Voorhees goes up and gets the ball from John McClain mid-spin and brings it another 3 or 4 yards further downfield for a massive gain. Leading candidate for the Bolitnikoff, and I'm seeing, yes, an average of 9.7 from the gymnastics judges. And Alonzo Harris, this time able to hold on to the ball, and a hop, skip, and a jump in the end zone. It's another touchdown for Washington State. Washington State now up 38-8. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. Vincent Vega, the star quarterback of Washington State, out for the duration.
I don't expect any once-in-a-lifetime rallies here, but that being said, we could still see some exciting plays.
Palmer there on the 11-yard curl route for first down.
From their own 36-yard line, it's first down. Just throws this one away.
Will Smith coming through the line there, causes the rush. Brown throws it away. It is now 2nd and 10 from their own 37. Sandwiched between 2 defenders, Joseph holds on to the reception for first down.
From their own 47-yard line, first down.
And Neal is short of the first down there. It is 2nd and 3 after he goes out of bounds. If you haven't seen it, Sam Neal has a fantastic performance in both Jurassic Park and, I was going to say, The Hunt for the Wilder People, which is a great recent comedy by the same director as Thor Ragnarok. Highly recommended. As we now see 2 tight end, 2 wide receivers, a fullback, and a sack there on Logan Brown, as that formation didn't seem to know what it was trying to do.
Townsend is waiting for the snap. Booming kick.
And Washington gets the touchback there. Washington State will begin the ball on their 20. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. Spread set, 5 wide receivers.
Washington State in control. He's rolling left.
And McLean is pushed out of bounds for a 3-yard loss on the scramble.
From their own 17-yard line. Second down. 5 guys will be out in the pattern as they're in the shotgun.
Ryan Leaf. Ball gets dropped gently into his hands on the lob for first down.
He thinks his receiver can make the catch no matter how many guys are hanging on his back.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
It's fucking pass interference again.
Intercepted. Breaks
And
one.
then a 350-pound offensive lineman with a big head. Fuck off.
Who's calling the plays?
Fuck
here?
off.
You've got a huge lead,
like-
and you're still throwing the football into coverage? What are you doing, trying to let the guy get back into the game?
It's first and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line.
A drop there on the pass by Logan Brown. And Smith comes through for the sack.
The offensive line missed a block there.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, we're gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot
Allen Ginsberg there with his 3rd deflection of the game, just to make sure that that ball stays out of reach.
A little more than 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. This punt bounces into the end zone, and this will be a touchback. And the offense will take the field, and they're certainly hoping to do better than they did in their last drive, which ended with a turnover.
And we'll see how aggressive this defense is when they come back out. I would be surprised if they kept up the pressure to try to fluster this quarterback some more. That was a great route by the receiver. It started out looking like a streak, but in reality, it was going to be a corner route the whole time. Nice job of beating the zone coverage and getting the first down.
2 minutes left in the ball game. Stays in bounds to make a nice catch. That makes it first and 10. On play action, defense coming. Stays in bounds and made a nice catch. His season for the ages continues as he reaches another milestone. 1,500 yards receiving.
You don't see too many guys go for 1,500 yards plus. He's had a great year catching the football.
From the 40-yard line. First down. And a nice catch there before he stepped out of bounds.
Called a gain of 12 yards. First down.
First and 10. Ball on the 28-yard line. Just under 2 minutes in the game. play fake. He goes out of bounds right around the 22-yard line.
Minute 39 left to go. Washington State is on the 22-yard line, 2nd and 4. Still bringing the spread, 5-wide set. John McClain continuing to do his best Vincent Vega impression, scrambling for yards.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
I love the toughness here by this quarterback. Sitting in until the last second, trying to make a play downfield, only to have this defense get to him. He's got to do a better job maybe feeling things out a little bit, but at least he has the awareness and a toughness to sit in that pocket.
This play is number 8 on the drive. Now he tries to buy some time.
John McClain gets 6 yards on the rush, but is unable to cross the plane into the end zone.
Big play here for both teams. It's 3rd and goal from the 2. Under a minute left in the game.
What kind of throw is that?
McClain throws off target.
But this game's been over almost since the
Tony
beginning.
Montana.
Tony Montana throws off target.
The fuck? What's wrong with fucking McClain now? Just completely fucking with me this second half. Just fucking with me.
It's 4th down. This should be an easy field goal.
Washington State losing their 2nd quarterback of the game. John McClain goes down with a dislocated thumb. 49 seconds left to go.
Washington State kick this one off. Sends it sailing downfield. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback for Washington State. They've been coming after the quarterback all day long. This is turning into a day that the offensive line wants to forget.
They also gotten them to turn it over twice.
This offense hasn't had any trouble moving the ball on the ground.
No, they haven't. So maybe they should just focus a bit more on the running game to mix it up and keep the defense guessing.
Under pressure.
They need to run some screens and some quick slants to try to take advantage of this pursuit because this defense is coming after them.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, we're gonna get to two. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Under heavy pressure. Inside the
Jack Kerouac there with the pick. Gets it inside the 10. Evens the turnover battle. 7 yards to pay dirt. 19 seconds left to go. But Tony Montana still in the game.
Washington State looking to build on this commanding lead here. Play action. Under pressure. Passes into tight.
And a diving pick.
That's why you got your chance right there. That's why you got the first chance. And I can't believe it. It's a global
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 20. Can this offense do anything to slow down this defense?
Well, they need to start keeping their backs in to help out in blocking. The quarterback is getting pounded back there.
He steps out at about the 17-yard line.
And that is your final.
I don't think I won't
And
remember
this one
this
comes
next
to
year.
an end. Our final
a
Piss me off. We're not done.
41, Washington 8. As we
A,
take a look at the highlights, Kirk, how would you summarize the action in this one?
crazy game there for
Didn't live up to the hype this year. There's pure
for the Apple Cup
on
this
one
year.
sideline and sheer disappointment on the other. You
An
can
excellent
focus on
game from Vincent Vega, an excellent game from the defense,
calendar for next year.
and a number of fluky plays and non calls from the refs mean that it's a win, but a frustrating one for Washington State. If you'll stay with us, we'll be back in just a minute after a bio break and hard drive swap. And we'll have the second of our doubleheader in just a few minutes. It's going to be number 21, Penn State, coached by myself, at Indiana. we just had a real surprise there in the results from other games, seeing that the other undefeated team, Boise State, out of the Mountain West, was defeated finally, surprisingly by 4-7 Air Force. So we just had to take a look at a few things to see who's now in the hunt to face Washington State for the national championship. We're gonna, provided they get past USC. So we're going to turn it around real quick. I got to swap a hard drive, and then we'll get ready with your Penn State Nittany Lions. Yeah, there you go. An incredible game by Air Force. This is a Boise State team that was averaging like 47 points a game. Air Force kept them to 3. It was, I would have loved to see that game. No, Leon, it is not possible to watch the simulated games, unfortunately.
It's in the game.
I will add it to the list, Leon. Thank you for the recommendation. And now, a quick look at Indiana before we start. Injury report. Kyle Harrison is back, finally. He's probable. We're going to try and get him the ball a lot this game if we can in order to warm him up. Looks like McLaurin is questionable. He'll be out. And Spencer is 8 weeks. He'll be out. So, McLaurin and Spencer are out. Indiana, let's see. There's their quarterback. The quarterback has speed. Does he use it? 62 yards a game. Yes, he does. 93 impact player, 85 yards a game. He's definitely core to their offense, including passing at 35 yards a game. Fullback doesn't appear to be part of the game plan. 46 yards. 23 yards, 36 yards. Spread it around a bit, but Thompson, another big part of their offense there, the tight end. Fuller is not, so one tight end. Offensive line is 78, 75. Spencer is out, but Davidson is the same. Frank is weak. Patrick Frank, true freshman, 64. Kevin Hall. That's not a great offensive line for the Big Ten, but they're Indiana. They're at the bottom of the Big Ten. But that's a good left end. Two freshman D tackles. And then a strong safety is their best. They are not deep. McLaurin is out, so that Wright is playing. And the free safety is playing right outside linebacker. Pierce is good, and then it goes down pretty quick to Olsen and Ziegler. Wright, Johnson Wright, McGrew. There's some bright spots, but that front seven is, well, the front four is one good guy out of four. That's not good for Indiana. But it is hopefully good for me handing the ball off to Harrison. So I'm going to get started here. Coach Spector, who's going to be the play-by-play for the duration of the game, is in the bathroom at the moment. So I'll hand over the microphone when he gets back in just a minute. But no reason not to start. I'm going to look. Sorry, one last thing. At this point, the thing I was saving those perks for, really no point in keeping them around. So spending some perks before this game, making sure my kicker never gets iced again, and we are ready to kick off and hand the mic right over to Coach Spector.
Glad to have you with us in the studio. I'm Reese Davis, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. The Hoosiers have been their own worst enemy during this losing streak. Now, to take nothing away from the teams that have beaten them, most of these problems have been self-inflicted. As they like to say, they've got to get themselves off their own schedule, meaning stop making unforced mistakes and see if they can finally get a W. That does it for us here on the NCAA College Football pregame show. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the half.
We're live at Memorial Stadium, a.k.a. the House, in Bloomington, Indiana, the battleground for these two teams. And now let's head down to the coin toss. It's brought to you by Coke Zero.
Yes, Leon, the lockpick perk is a recruiting tool that you can use to unlock recruits who have moved beyond the pale and left you behind in a multiple team race for their services. If you fall to third or fourth or fifth and percentages work out and the math works out to a certain way and you fall behind by enough points, then you can use a lockpick perk to get back into a recruiting race. We're coming to you live from Bloomington, Indiana. Thank you for joining us, folks. The second half of our doubleheader. Penn State, ranked 21st in the country, at the Indiana Hoosiers. Penn State trying to finish third this year in the Big Ten and get a juicy bowl berth. 3 wide receivers for the Hoosiers, single back set, and he gets a good 15, 17, 18 yards. And it looks like Indiana's running no huddle today. We'll see how that vaunted, highly ranked, and touted Penn State defense can handle it. Quick slant over the middle to Wilson, right to left across your radio dial. Penn State giving up 2 plays to start the football game. Little false start there is going to slow the offense down for a minute. Sometimes you can increase the chances of getting a false start called on defense if you're a little jerky with the controls. Obviously, you don't want to go over the line of scrimmage, but if you're on defense with a linebacker, say, or a safety up near the line of scrimmage, you can feint towards the line and sometimes get those linemen to jump. It is a thing. Heavy pass rush by Penn State and nobody open means the outlet throw to the left side is Indiana's only option. They're going to get 7 yards out of that play and bring up second and long. He picks the correct hole. It's the right call for that coverage. Leaves only one defender blitzing down from the secondary. It's a quick decision to make in the hole. Penn State unable to do so, and Indiana gets another first down. They got 1st and 10 now on their opening drive, down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Another quick slant over the middle, right to left. Thompson makes the catch, a 13-yard gain on first down. It's a broken tackle and a good pitch by Davis, able to get something out of nothing. Indiana was 7 on the play, going to set up second and short. They're going to stick with this no huddle and keep Penn State on their heels. It's a lob pass. Nobody's there in the Alaska of the end zone. Penn State comes up with a huge play on third down, able to get the sack. It's a loss of 2. Multiple defenders there, able to make the play. And Indiana now, we assume, will bring the field goal unit. Yes, it's what it looks like, out onto the field. Penn State happy to get the stop there after a couple of early plays by Indiana got them down this close. 3 points on the board. Indiana forced to settle. The Nittany Lions defense stiffening inside the 10-yard line. Hawkins picks the hole. He's up inside the left side. On the sideline originally, cuts inside, gets an extra 5 to 7 yards. They're out beyond their own 40-yard line to start their opening drive. That's excellent, excellent field position for the Nittany Lions.
Time after time, he just avoids the mistake.
5 wide receivers for Penn State. Middle slant over the middle. Hickman gets the first play. It's a 3-yard gain. As Williams able to start the game 1 for 1. We have, of course, the difficulty settings and the slider settings cranked up enough to where it is a thing that you need to warm up your quarterback. It's a split big out of the shotgun, and it looks like Indiana was ready for that one, as they're able to get a tackle for loss. Williams playing it smart, eating the loss, not trying a risky pitch. Third and long for Penn State. Johnson over the middle, the underneath man, the second read. Williams showing a little bit of patience there in the pocket, able to have time thanks to that offensive line by the Nittany Lions. And hitting Johnson underneath, the second look gets the first down. Quarterback making the read of the pre-snap coverage lineup, and what they showed ended up playing out as they were able to read the coverage there on that play and convert the first down. Harrison, of course, in his first game back for the Nittany Lions after missing several games with an injury. Looks like on that play on offense, the effort to get the tailback, Kyle Harrison, involved in the game plan as early as possible took precedence over making the pitch. They're aware of that, though. They're going to correct it. Shotgun 3 wide receivers, and they throw it to the tight end, Cole Robinson, a star of the offense, a 99 overall redshirt senior tight end for the Nittany Lions. Cole Robinson comes up with his first catch of the game. The Nittany Lions getting him involved in the early going. Going to be 3rd and 9 from the 40-yard line. You figure 10 gets the first down, 5 gets the field goal. Hits Hickman underneath. He's able to get the first down after the catch. A 5-yard throw. Nets 12. Harrison up the gut. 6-yard gain on his second carry of the game.
Second down now, and they need about 4 yards to pick
24-yard line now for the Nittany Lions, facing a 2nd and 4. You can pretty much do anything you want in this situation. Hits the halfback on the run out of the backfield. Harrison with a 16-yard gain. Penn State now knocking on the door, mixing it up between the run and the pass, finding a way to get Hickman involved through the passing game. They're going to set up now 1st and goal on it looks like about the 7-yard line.
He's pushed out of bounds at the 2.
Robinson utilizes his excellent catch in traffic, as there was a mass of bodies there near the sideline, able to come down with it and set them up with 2 plays to get 6 feet. saw it flash up on the score there. Number 4, on the scoreboard there. Number 4 Michigan beating number 5 Ohio State right now. That game a major factor in this Big Ten conference as well as the national picture. As you know, having watched the first game, number 2 Boise State fell at the final hurdle and is now out of the national title picture. Number 1 Washington State remained undefeated. And it's possible that it could be Michigan that gets a ticket to that dance. Penn State moving wide receivers around.
I included Harrison in the returns in order to get him more yardage.
Holt looks ready to kick this one off. Excellent kick.
They're going to get Kyle Harrison a couple of extra snaps by letting him be the return man today. Very important for Penn State's game plan in the postseason to get their just recently returned halfback as much involved as possible. Try to get him on a hot streak for the postseason game, which will be upcoming. This is the final game of the regular season. Penn State looking to finish 8-4. It is pandemonium in the backfield.
That was his 10th sack of the year.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I got to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
They run the draw. That never seems to work. It doesn't work now. It's a loss of 4. And it's going to be 3rd and a mile as Penn State looking to get the ball right back on offense and take control of this football game. Davis couldn't get much on the ball there. A rather embarrassing throw. Indiana's going to be forced to punt. And you got to feel like the tide is beginning to turn. And a waterfall potentially awaits.
Harrison takes it at the 49.
Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's alright. Taking care of business and working overtime.
Back onto the field, and he led a great drive last
Penn State coming out on offense. We've got 2 tight ends. It's the split big shotgun set.
Gets to about the 41-yard line. Second and 8 coming up here. Ball on the 41.
Hits the out route to Cole Robinson. 4-yard gain. Going to be 3rd and 5. Robinson again on the quick hitting pass. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what it is. It is against the offense. It'll be 10 yards. They'll back them up. It'll be 3rd and a mile. 10 yards on the opponent's 42-yard line.
They have more yards to pick up for the first down.
That'll be the end of the first quarter. Penn State Nittany Lions ahead 7-3. 21st ranked in the nation. Coach Ninja coaching an excellent first quarter there on both sides of the ball.
And we're ready for more football here in quarter number 2. They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook.
5 wide set, sending men deep. It's going to be an interception by Johnson of Indiana after the 31-yard line. Penn State needed the full 10 yards. Got a little bit aggressive there in the passing game, and they're going to give a little boost of momentum to Indiana. Let's see here what they do with it.
30-yard line. First down. They come out in a 5-wide set.
Shotgun back to pass, hits Thompson underneath. He breaks the tackle. That enables him to get 8 yards.
Gets it. He's in space.
Johnson breaks the tackle again, picks up blockers going down the sideline. He had escorts all the way down to the 9-yard line. A 53-yard gain for Andre Johnson, number 80, from the wide receiver core of Indiana. Looks like all 5 offensive linemen for Indiana struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. As they run this no huddle, a big gain like that, and those big boys got to run a long way. The screen pass to the left side. Burnett gets the touchdown. Indiana retakes the lead following the turnover.
So it's the running back who shows off his hands on the touchdown.
It's such a bonus to have a back who can contribute to the passing game.
Trying to go up by 3, they'll kick the extra point. Indiana with a 2-point advantage. He makes the PAT. Let's go to the studio for this Reese Davis update. Scarlet and gray.
See there, Michigan taking the 17-0 lead, 5-4. That does factor into our national title race. We're on week 14 of year 10 of League 1.
Victory of the season.
And he's taken down at the 20-yard line.
Well, this is a very competitive
Coach Ninja
game.
brings it out to the 20-yard line.
Has gained the advantage or the momentum. The other team comes fighting back, and it's going back and forth. This is almost like a basketball game.
Facing a 3-point deficit. Let's see what he does here.
Between these two squads. Might be neck and neck.
No soul shattered. I am Coach Spector, coach of the Washington State Cougars, giving play-by-play here for Coach Ninja. He's sitting next to me on the couch,
And he's taken down.
trailing 3-0 against Indiana on the road in the final game of the regular season.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks.
Williams makes the right read. It's a fumbled pitch. A defender pops into the side of the screen where he wasn't before, unseen by Williams. It is a fumbled pitch on the option play. Indiana's going to take over
Be concerned about the ball.
on the Penn State 37-yard line. That's a big turnover.
Things have been fairly
2 consecutive turnovers
little separation.
on
This game can
back-to-back drives.
be changed on just 1 or 2 plays.
It's a quick screen pass to the outside, a little bit of Chip Kelly, Oregon-style football. Not quite a bubble screen. Yeah, Soul Shattered, it's a little difficult to commentate and play at the same time. And we have the sliders cranked up on Heisman. We have Jake Hitt's sliders from Operation Sports, and then some. 0 blocking ability, 0 running back ability, 0 wide receiver catching, stuff like that. And it makes it especially difficult. So with with a competitive league like this, with multiple members and other members not having to commentate and play at the same time, that's what we employ. 3rd and long by Penn State. Good coverage.
Almost picked off.
Smart, heady play by that defender. That was solid, fundamental pass.
Just when they needed it. Penn State gets the 3 and out.
I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business.
I have seen
Distances, it's just so
handicapped
out there that it's hard to make any type of field goal.
horses that have kicked better than that. That was a horrible, horrible field goal by Indiana.
Ball on the 21. And this one's
Broken up on the outside. Indiana with good pass coverage to the intended receiver. Williams, 8 out of 10, 66 yards. The pick and the incompletion there. Just 2 bad passes only recently. Began the game 8 out of 8. They run the read option. It is there for him. Williams able to get him to 3rd and inches. If you don't think this is a big play, you don't know football. The blocking there, Penn State's offensive line in excellent condition. They've got a loaded offensive line with several talented sophomores. They haven't fully developed, but we're late in the season in their second year starting for many of them. And they are beginning to fully develop their blocking. Another big gain up the middle by Harrison on an 11-yard gain sees them get to the 46-yard line across the midfield stripe into Indiana territory, looking to retake the lead here in the second quarter. We're about 4:20 away from the half. Gets the 3-yard completion to Harrison. His second catch of the day. 2nd and 7. We'll see what they do. It's going to be the shotgun Y trips. Stick with it up the gut. Harrison gets 2.5. It's going to be 3rd and 4. A lot of possibilities here on the 41-yard line. You figure one more first down, and we're talking points. Quarterback keeper. Williams catches him off guard. Most people see a 5 wide receiver set and they assume pass. But there is one way to run that isn't a pure quarterback scramble. You can catch the defense off guard there. A gutsy play call on 3rd and 4 as Penn State converts and keeps the momentum. It's the second read. It's the slant over the middle. Howell able to get him 2nd and inches. Every coach's favorite down and distance.
Here's play number 10 on the drive.
Williams keeps it.
Well, that's another first down, Brad.
They might have been able to get the pitch off, but if you've been following, after the fumbled pitch before, the deflected pitch, you can understand why Penn State didn't pitch it there. Waits for the quarterback. Sorry, waits for the halfback on the angle route. That's a play that can break quickly, but good timing there to give him momentum off of the catch. Pitches it this time, not afraid to do so. Had to. That's going to set them up just a bit outside.
That's the 6th first down on this drive alone. Now they got a confused defense and a tired defense on this drive. They better hope somehow that they're able to hold this offense to a field goal. It's not looking good right now.
Touchdown, the Lions.
That was a big score by Penn State. Takes the lead, gets the momentum, and now with 1:58, they're in a position where they might be able to get what we call the double, which is where you don't run the clock down towards the end of the half. You try to score quickly, get the momentum, which could lead to the stop, which could lead to an extra possession before the half, and then suddenly you're up by multiple scores going into the locker room. And if you chose to kick off, well, that whole recipe is just good coaching. Almost gets the miracle catch, threw on the run off his back heel in tight coverage, but able to jar the ball loose was the Penn State defense. Yes, Leon, you're correct. Ninja did turn the ball over on a pitch in his previous game. It was a slightly different play where it was fumbled with contact.
No, it wasn't with contact. The fullback failed to catch it.
Yeah, no, that was different personnel, I'm being told, and that is correct. On the previous Penn State game, they had a fullback in because Harrison was still hurt, so they were using a fullback in their dual halfback shotgun split sets. And the fullback, unable to bring in the pitch, didn't quite have the agility and athleticism of a halfback. You know, it's one of the risks you run when you throw a fullback into an option situation out wide. Perfectly fine to give him a handoff up the gut. But as you can see by the play calling, Penn State quite happy to have Kyle Harrison back in the fold and be able to run two halfbacks in that scenario. Just what they wanted. They get the 3 and out. Still have 3 timeouts.
I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's alright. Taking care of business and working overtime.
I think this defense right now.
1:36 on the clock. Penn State 3 timeouts. Right near the midfield stripe.
Kind of going through the motions, and I think the last time they were out there where they gave up such a long drive has had an impact and an effect negatively on the psyche of this defense.
Up the middle for a nice gain. Penn State holds a 4-point lead.
Williams able to actually save that play. That could have been a lot worse than it was. Able to get 3 yards. But you see, Penn State perfectly content with those 3 timeouts to run the ball to get this first down and try to get those wheels moving in a high percentage way.
Tackle made right around the 42-yard line. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers. Throws a strike over the middle. And he's
Once again, the underneath route to Johnson. Penn State not pressing the issue as much. They're not throwing the corner routes. They're not throwing 20 yards deep over the middle. Happy to take the second look, the underneath guy. Happy to run out of the shotgun. Those 3 timeouts really giving them a lot of flexibility. You figure they'll use one shortly, but there's something to be said for playing with confidence, and timeouts can give that to you.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 26. Nice run there. Williams picks up.
There's the first timeout. 29 seconds remaining in the half.
State's going to take their first time out of the half.
Penn State on the 22-yard line. Trying to get the double. Cole Robinson, the star tight end, makes the catch. Gets tackled down at the 1-yard line. Had 2 defenders on him to make the stop. He was definitely open on that play. It was set up by several calls earlier. just what the doctor ordered. Penn State gets 2 quick scores in the last 2 minutes of the first half. They take a 21-10 lead. They're going to bring that 3-3-5 out, but it looks like, as you can see, you can tell when they break the huddle and the play clock shoots all the way down to 10 or 11 seconds that they have every intention of running. Penn State ready for it. That's going to end the first half. We're going to head into the locker rooms with the Nittany Lions carrying an 11-point lead. Really stopping the blood flow in the early going, suffering a few passes, a few consecutive big gains to open the scoring on the opening drive for Indiana that set up the field goal. And then following 2 turnovers, Indiana was able to take the 10-7 lead, but Penn State didn't fold and was able to punch back, give themselves the lead and the football to start this second half.
Excellent kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. The offense is coming out on the field, and they haven't had any problem finding the end.
They love their 2 tight end sets here at Penn State. Williams on the keeper. It's a 15-yard, we'll call it 15.5-yard gain. He's got 9 carries for 59 yards. He doesn't have the fastest wheels in the game, but smart decisions have given him a high yards per carry today.
We've got a first and 10, all on the 40-yard line.
Gets the short completion. It's a 2-yard gain to Harrison. His 3rd catch of the day for 21 yards. Going to be 2nd and 8. There were multiple possibilities on that last play. Hits the tight end Robinson over the middle. Gets first down and more. It's a 13-yard gain. His 5th catch, 48 yards. As Penn State now going with the no huddle, giving Indiana a little dose of their own medicine.
Tackle after a decent run up the gut.
6 yards on the run. Going to be 2nd approachable, only 4 yards to go. They run the Z spot. Hickman stops and goes, makes the catch, 5 yards downfield, gets an extra 2 or 3. That Z spot there out of the shotgun, high percentage play. Harrison up the gut, falls forward. Able to slip like water through the holes in that defense. It's that position everybody wants to be in. 2nd and 1. 19 yards, the marker. That'll be good enough to get a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, but they didn't do it quickly enough. The quarterback decided to keep this one himself, and the hole was just big
Penn
enough
State stays with a no huddle.
to get the first down.
Britt up the gut on the handoff. Going with the inside run.
It's not supposed to be Britt.
Britt, of course, halfback number 2 on the Penn State roster. Some concern now as to how their fullback is doing. Harrison with an abdominal tear as previous will be probable.
I aggravated his injury. He's not going to play anymore this game.
It looks like he's out currently. We will wait to see if he makes a comeback. There he is. Number 25, we see Harrison back in the backfield at the play calling screen, so we know it was a slight blip on the radar. Just got a little bit too tired on this drive with the no huddle. Gets the pitch outside, breaks the first tackle and the second. The third one gets him. Going to be second and goal from about the 7-yard line. 7 or 8. We'll see how they spot it. If you're Penn State, obviously, you want to punch it in here. Take the commanding lead. You don't want to settle for 3. You'll do it if you have to, but you don't want to settle for 3.
They're at the 8. Second down.
Heavy pass rush by Indiana. Penn State having to wait a little bit too long for receivers to break open. Wanted to make sure that they didn't throw it when the receiver was still covered. Playing it smart there.
The defense has really held their own the last 2 plays. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 7. They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
Same thing again. They had to wait for guys to break open. And Indiana able to get the heavy pass rush. It's going to force Penn State to kick that field goal. Going to be a 2-touchdown lead here halfway through the 3rd quarter. Up and good. Penn State responding to 4 wide receivers with the 3-3-5. Andre Johnson, his 3rd catch of the day, this one for 4 yards. Going to be 2nd and 6 for the Hoosiers. 3-3-5 stack for Penn State. It's the halfback run, and there's too many bodies there. Indiana now facing 3rd and a mile. What started as approachable now seems like a mountain. Penn State with a cover 4 out of the 3-3-5 across. Indiana gets a lot of it, but not enough. Now 4th and 2. Another big 3 and out for the Nittany Lions defense.
I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's alright. Taking care of business and working overtime.
They made the right calls on defense. Let's see if they make the right calls on offense. They are standing on the precipice.
Well, the last drive was good for 3, but I'm sure in this one they'll be looking to double that.
Harrison out of the backfield on the angle route. 7-yard gain. Going to be 2nd and 3. Read option. Out of the shotgun set. Makes the cut inside. Defense crashed down hard and fast, but Penn State able to get the first. Williams in good form today. 11 carries, 65 yards. Making the smart plays.
From the 49-yard line, it's first down.
Williams keeps it, takes the 7-yard gain. Happy to have it. Going to be 2nd and short once again.
And he's finally out of bounds at the 15.
There couldn't have been a much better way to have run that play against that defense. That was full optimization on the Williams keeper.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 15-yard line.
It's 3-3-5 for Indiana. The shotgun wide trips for Penn State. Britt coming out of the backfield with a 2-yard gain up the gut. Going to be 2nd and 8. His 3rd carry of the day.
It's 2nd and 8.
13 yards away. Hits the halfback out of the backfield. Harrison into the end zone, and Penn State now has a 3-score lead against the Indiana Hoosiers. They are rolling. Another Big Ten action you just saw there. Maryland leading Michigan State. That's going to affect the Big Ten race in a little way. Maryland, pesky Maryland. Penn State's checking on Harrison here. It's his first game back from injury. And they want to make sure that they optimize his chances to play well in the next game. He's been well active in the passing attack. He's got 3 touchdowns.
Get set to kick this one away.
But first, we'll see if Indiana can respond. Penn State puts it on the letters, and Indiana's going to come out with the ball at the 25-yard line.
Well, they've had some opportunities, but they either turn the ball over or obviously don't execute on third down and they're forced to punt, or their drive ends up stalling in a fourth down.
Traditionally, Indiana has played Penn State tough, but today the Penn State 3-3-5 defense has really come into their own. After the opening drive where Indiana was able to complete 3 or 4 or 5 passes from 8 to 12 yards. Since that time, Penn State has locked down the Hoosier passing attack, and the running game has had difficulty. Penn State gang tackling to force another third down. Right place, right time. That's been the story of the day for the Penn State defense as we head into the fourth quarter.
That's a confidence builder. Coming out of the huddle, the coaches have a low threshold for mistakes.
The big play by Indiana may not be enough. It may be too little too late. 6:46 remaining in the ball game. Indiana knocking on the door, but fighting the scoreboard and the clock. Not to mention the Nittany Lions defense.
Around the 19-yard line. Burnett only gets about a yard there on the draw.
And the defense had great pressure there.
Ain't that a kick in the head? Going to be 4th and inches.
And once again, the coaches decided to go for it on 4th down. He gets hit out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
They're about to head off the field after.
Could have been much closer to a stop there. Penn State valiantly tried, unable to keep Indiana from getting the first down. 6:10 remaining and counting. Touchdown Hoosiers. Isn't that how it always works? They convert the 4th, they score the next play. Back to a 2-score ball game. Penn State now in a situation where first downs are what it's all about. And a complete lack of turnovers.
Nice kick, plenty of distance. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The Nittany Lions have put up 24 unanswered points. One team can't do anything wrong, the other team can't do anything right.
Indiana does finally stop the bleeding, responding to the 24 straight points with a touchdown of their own. We'll see if they can come up with some big plays on defense. It's the two tight end Maryland I. No, check that. That's an I formation. Harrison up the gut with 15 yards. Chews through the center of the Hoosier defense.
So much more versatile.
This time 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. As we see those seconds begin to melt.
From their own 43-yard line. 2nd down. And he makes it out to about the 44-yard
3rd and 6. Going to be interesting to see what happens on this play. If Penn State does not convert, you figure they'll punt. You know they don't want to.
Third down now, and they need to get it out to the 50. The offense going to try to open this field up, coming out of a 5-wide set, and the defense counters with their dime look.
Hickman open over the middle on the quick post. Hits him right after the cut. Gets 20 yards. Perfectly thrown ball by Williams. Well heated up thanks to the running game. His multiple conversions on the ground, warming him up on an individual basis.
From the 36-yard line.
Just outside field goal range. Penn State looking to close this game out once and for all. Harrison on the pitch. They focused on Williams that time, but Kyle Harrison able to get 14 yards. He's up to 93 on the day, averaging 5.8 yards a carry in his first game back in action in several weeks. Twin tight end said it's a shotgun big. All sorts of misdirection, players running everywhere. And in the end, Williams keeps it. He's over 100 yards rushing today.
Takes it up the middle for a nice run.
Of course he breaks the tackle. Gets the first down. 4 yards. 10 yards away. 4 minutes remaining.
This is the eighth play of this drive. And they make the stop around the
Harrison gets 3. Going to be 2nd and goal from the 7. Penn State sticking with the shotgun wide trips. Looks like we got 4 down linemen for Indiana. At right end having a hard time. Harrison out of the backfield down to the 2-yard line. They're going to call it a long one. Nittany Lions in the shadow of the Hoosiers goalpost.
This defense not wanting to give an inch here. Straight run here, and he's got nowhere to go.
Could have been a face mask. Wasn't called. It's going to leave Penn State with no choice. They're going to take the 3-score lead.
Much more than an extra point. Just under 3 to go in regulation. And the field goal is good. Reese Davis joins us with this update.
Screen pass for Indiana out to the left-hand side. Burnett able to stave off the defense for a couple of extra yards. Gets a 4-yard reception. Indiana frantically trying to stay relevant, but the winds of time are against them. You can't run up the gut down by 17 with less than 3 minutes left. You just can't.
It's third down and 7 yards to go. Ball on their own 28. Here's the halfback on the screen. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 41.
Screen pass converts for Indiana. And their small, tiny percentage chance remains in effect. Penn State's defense has been stellar all day, though.
He's in trouble. He's going to try and scramble.
Good coverage there on the play. Gives Davis no other choice than to take off. But Penn State had enough bodies near the line of scrimmage to keep that from being too dangerous. There was no Michael Vick impersonations there. They're calling the cover 3. Sorry, check that, the cover 4 here. Out of the 3-3-5. And the heavy, aggressive pass defense pays off for Penn State as they now force another third down. 1:37 on the clock. The 21st ranked Nittany Lions trying to put the final nails in the coffin in Bloomington, Indiana. The big house. The other big house. You know, they call it that. They call it the big house at Indiana, but there's another big house in the Big Ten that's a little bit more famous.
Good effort there by the receiver. Just not enough room for him to get a
Hard to say what they were trying to accomplish on that play. A pass all the way to the sideline. Very few yards upfield. They're going to take a look at instant replay. EA likes to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment and increase the opportunities for replay in this game. And what's funny is that you see a catch like that, they're going to rule this a catch. Even though as we saw, his feet were out of bounds. It's funny when EA is proud of themselves, only to embarrass themselves. The rendering of the feet out of bounds, and they make the call inbounds. We've seen that a few times. It's not surprising, but always funny.
He's taken down around the 28-yard line. A little over a minute in the game.
Unable to make the grab. It's now going to be 4th down for the Hoosiers. They're on Penn State's 28-yard line. Some coaches might kick the field goal here and say, well, you need 3 scores anyway. You may as well kick the field goal and go for the onside now. But Indiana is going to go for this. Breaks the tackle, gets the first down thanks to it, and then uses a timeout on offense. Another pass way out to the sideline. Indiana playing horizontally very well today. Unfortunately, not enough vertical in their offensive game.
So it's second down now. They need about 4 yards to pick up the first. Empty backfield. Quarterback in the gun. 5 wide receivers.
Lobs it out of the back of the end zone. Now 3rd down.
Excellent pressure on that play.
3 wide receivers, a halfback, a tight end coming out of the huddle for the Hoosiers on this 3rd down. Davis back to pass, doesn't like what he sees. Deflected again, and falls to the turf harmlessly. Once again, Indiana going to go for the 7 here.
They've got 1 4th-down conversion on this drive. Now they'll give it another go. Under a minute left in the game.
And there it is.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Back into a ball game.
A conversion there could have
Turnover on downs. Penn State with a 17-point lead. 42 seconds remaining. All that's left is to give a couple of touches to Harrison and call it a day.
the 17-yard line.
1 yard on the ground there. He's got 97 yards rushing. You know they'd love to get him 100 yards. His first game back after suffering a tough injury late season. Missing 3 or 4 weeks there. That's going to put him over the century mark. Welcome back, Kyle Harrison. 20 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, and several yards through the air as well. A very Melvin Gordon, LaShawn McCoy style of game today for Harrison.
Gains his way to the 40-yard line. And he makes it out to about the 41-yard line.
22 carries, 121 yards. 3 seconds remaining. Penn State's going to use their final timeout to get one more play. But it's not what you think. It's not for Harrison. It is the quarterback, Neal. They're going to get the 10 extra coach XP. Penn State taking the knee, celebrates the 34-17 win over Big Ten rival Indiana. And Penn State has done all they can do. They're going to try to finish 3rd here in the Big Ten this year. They've done their part. They won another tough road Big Ten game. And now await the announcement of their bowl game. They're going to finish, I believe, 7-2 in Big Ten conference play. That's going to make it hard for them to finish any lower than 3rd. That should give them a juicy bowl berth in what we anticipate will be the Outback Bowl in Tampa, Florida, right near New Year's Day. That's going to be against a well-oiled machine, an SEC opponent, possibly a rematch of their first game of the season against Ole Miss, who could finish in that position in the SEC this year. Ole Miss, of course, ranked in the top 15. Penn State now flirting with it. They're going to wait to see how things sort out to see where they're ranked in the polls. As we see Harrison able to get 160 yards with multiple touchdowns. Williams with 100 yards rushing on the ground from the quarterback position. Penn State able to run the triple option well, able to run the read option well, made some smart decisions, and were able to play smart football. Really just a studied effort today by the Nittany Lions, and they're going to finish 8-4 in the regular season. They're going to finish 7-2 in Big Ten play, and we await to see what happens with the final games of Week 14 as we close out the regular season, and we head into Conference Championship Week, which next week we can tell you Penn State will be off during Conference Championship Week, but number 1 Washington State, coached by yours truly, Coach Spector. I will be coaching number 1 Washington State against one of the other users in our league, which is Coach Doc Jocular, the head coach of the USC Trojans. They're going to be the winners of the Pac-12 South this year. And next week, we anticipate after Christmas, we will be televising a user conference championship game I believe that is the first of its kind in League One play. And that's going to be Washington State, the winners of the Pac-12 North, finishing 12-0 with the win today over Washington, versus USC, which is going to be either 7-5 or 8-4. We wait to see their game against UCLA. We anticipate that'll be Friday night. That, of course, not being televised on Twitch. Only the Penn State and Washington State games available from League One here on the Twitch channel, Coach Ninja's Twitch channel. So next week it'll be USC against Washington State, myself against Coach Jocular, as I hope to try to get into the national championship game. As far as the Big Ten race goes and the second half of our doubleheader, the game you just witnessed, as we see here, Penn State with 7-2, and we know that Michigan beats Ohio State.
But they have a tiebreaker because they beat me.
And so Ohio State will stay ahead of Penn State. Penn State looking to be fourth. However, we also know that there's a chance of an Iowa-Michigan, a good chance of an Iowa-Michigan Big Ten championship game. One of those teams could have 2 losses and fall behind Penn State. They can still finish third in the Big Ten. Either way, whether they're third or fourth, it's the Big Ten. They're going to get a good bowl. So that will be in 2 weeks' time on this Twitch channel. We average about 1 game a week, and we're going to have our Christmas break and revisit right after Christmas, play the conference championship week. We spin our league on Mondays, so we anticipate that Washington State USC game will be sometime shortly after Christmas, and the bowl games right around New Year's. We thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your viewage. We wish you a very, very happy holidays, whatever Festivus you celebrate. And we thank you for tuning in. We hope you follow and join us in watching the developments of League One here in its 10th season.